आरोग्यम परमम भाग्यम स्वास्थ्यम सर्वार्थ साधनम. Health is the biggest wealth in one's life. It is the only thing with which all the other things can be achieved in life. The ancient Indian knowledge of the Vedas endorses and provides guidance for achieving holistic health. With the mission to establish the knowledge of Ayurveda and Yoga, Patanjali Research Institute started its journey in 2017 with its formal inauguration by the Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi ji. The term Ayurveda is derived from the Sanskrit words Ayur, meaning life, and Ved, meaning science or knowledge. Thus, Ayurveda translates to knowledge of life. Based on the idea that disease is due to an imbalance or stress in a person's consciousness, Ayurveda encourages certain lifestyle interventions and natural therapies to regain a balance between the body, mind, spirit, and the environment. Ayurveda has its origin in Atharvaveda, the fourth of the four Vedas. Vedas are the cardinal scriptures of ancient Indian culture, meant to guide human race through each and every aspect of healthy and fruitful life at physical, mental, and spiritual level. The doctrines of Ayurveda were documented by the great sage Maharshi Charak in his world-famous treatise Charak Samhita around 5000 BC. Another great sage, Maharshi Shushruta, who is revered as the father of surgery, has authored Shushruta Samhita, the compendium on surgery. Shushruta Samhita classifies human surgery into categories, describes 60 types of upkarma for treatment of wound, 120 surgical instruments, and 300 surgical procedures. Patanjali family feels privileged to be able to uphold these unfathomable treasure troves of ancient science and epitomize the ancient heritage of the sages who have seeded the concept of universal health, peace, equality, harmony with human values. Patanjali Research Institute, or PRI, is engaged in the research and development of Ayurvedic drugs. PRI aims to establish India as the launchpad for the growth and development of Ayurveda and become a prototype for the rest of the world, with an aim to become a global research institute on traditional Indian medicinal systems. Despite being in its infancy, with just 5 years since its establishment, PRI has already established a compelling body of scientific evidence to explain the rationales behind Ayurvedic principles. These research works are published in different high-impact peer-reviewed international journals and are currently receiving critical appreciation from the scientific community across the world. PRI has 3 divisions. First, Drug Discovery and Development Division. Second, Patanjali Herbal Research Division, or PHRD, and Ayurveda and Sanskrit Division. With the goal of achieving global scientific acceptance for Ayurveda, the Drug Discovery and Development Division, besides engaging in R&D for Ayurvedic drug development, backs up the scientific rationales of Ayurveda with mechanistic studies. Drug Discovery and Development Division is an interdisciplinary research unit with 5 departments: chemistry, in vitro biology, in vivo biology, microbiology, and clinical research. At Patanjali Research Laboratories, the modern scientific rationale behind ancient wisdom of Ayurveda is being deciphered and validated using cutting-edge technologies as per reverse pharmacology concept, with a resolute target to establish Ayurvedic medicines as evidence-based medicines. Patanjali Herbal Research Division, PHRD, is involved in taxonomical identification and documentation of the endemic medicinal flora of India and world in order to address the growing awareness and acceptance of Ayurveda, Patanjali has taken up the ardent task of offering the World Herbal Encyclopedia. In this compendium, nearly 1 million vernacular names of medicinal plants in more than 1650 languages of the world are being incorporated. The handmade canvas paintings of 35,000 plants are being included as illustrations in the encyclopedia. This work will get compiled into nearly 100,000 pages with approximately 600,000 references and citations. It will provide detailed analysis and description of more than 60,000 medicinal herbs preeminent in more than 2,000 ethnic groups across the world. Patanjali Research Institute has a herbal garden housing more than 1,000 medicinal plants. The institute modern science with traditional knowledge of Ayurveda with the target of Sarve Santu Niramaya, meaning let all be free from illness. Patanjali Research Institute is taking major steps towards developing general and scientific awareness regarding Ayurveda and Yoga in India and across the globe.
It's in the global goal of PRI for years to come. So, as I said, this is the third meeting on plant to patient series, and we are rethinking ethnopharmacology. Some of you, the students who are sitting in the audience, may not be knowing the exact meaning of ethnopharmacology, and some of you might also be getting worried that what does it really into and why we are sitting in here, because I see a lot of students from university and from Ayurvedic college. So for you, ethnopharmacology is actually a practice of ethnical medicines and their conversion towards clinical practice and the proof of concept of their working. So you are combining ethnical with the pharmacology and you get the word ethnopharmacology. The ethnopharmacology conference we are entering into, and we have several speakers lined up here, as we heard from Param Pujacharya, from Shri Swamiji, that we have 30 come all of a sudden, but sometimes they are really in a way that you can't really figure it out what is the genesis of it. But most of the scientific discoveries we are making, most of the things that we are claiming, most of the things which are getting peer-reviewed and accepted across the world are coming as an inform of blessings from Swamiji and Acharya. For that, thank you very much, Acharya Swamiji, for being the guiding light for the PRI and taking us and telling us where should we be going and how we should be moving ahead. Thank you. Institute is a relatively younger institute. It's I would call we are still in the infancy. We are just growing. It's just a 5-year-old institution, which was inaugurated in 2017 by our Honorable Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi ji. And the institute has several laboratories, and these laboratories have been set up to bridge the gap between the modern practice and our ancient medicinal knowledge of yoga and Ayurveda. And today, Swamiji has shown us very live example of 10 odd people who have been getting a treatment benefit of yoga and Ayurveda combined, which itself shows the value of these processes and how the human suffering from diseases can be controlled or cured by using both of those techniques. And it's a combination of that, yoga, Ayurveda, and naturopathy, and the key word what Swamiji has coined, integrated medicine. That's the way forward towards it. So PRI has been working on its part to actually establish the concept of integrated medicines and taking it forward towards the whole mankind. These labs that we're talking about, these are probably one of the kind, literally state-of-the-art facilities to conduct research on Ayurveda and Yoga. Top-of-the-line equipment, globally trained workforce, ignite the thoughts, and we get those research operations working on a daily basis. And as Acharya said, very clock, most of people are worked by the passion, and that's one of the core competencies of being scientist. So the passion, when it gets mixed by ambition, the outcomes are fantastic. And we have been lucky to actually merging both part of it. So now we are working as a mission, loaded with the passion and delivering the final outcome where the institute will be heading it for. Focusing on research, we are focusing on innovation, and our goal is to help the mankind and increase their health, increase their life, and also the quality that attached to it. I will very strongly believe, and my team also resonate in the same frequencies. Now, getting that into a form, which form can be understood by the people outside India or the people across the globe in a language and the format that they understand, that's a goal that we are looking for. So what we do, we take those raw information, sometimes it's unstructured, sometimes it's structured, and couple it with the correctly several times, and I really get goosebumps when I hear it, that hum rishi or rishikaon ki santan hai. That means that we are the kids, we are the next generation of the sages who are there several centuries before. And they have some sort of knowledge, some sort of clinical practice, some sort of science, which were there several thousand years before, and that is being transporting to us through the several generations. Now, getting that into a form, which form can be understood by the people outside India or the people across the globe in a language and the format that they understand, that's a goal that we are looking for. So what we do, we take those raw information, sometimes it's unstructured, sometimes it's structured, and couple it with the rich history of medicinal plants which are present in India, and we combine it together and funnel it through a separate processes, like having an old wisdom, practice of the modern science with a huge scope of delivery, go for multi-pronged approach, like doing multiple things together, develop something called research Ayurveda, and finally go towards the pinnacle, what we call scientifically validated evidence-based medicine system, which would be very well characterized and would be acceptable across the globe. So that is the vision that we are working with, which is lined up with the mission that we already have. And the strategy for that has been to set up the whole process one by one. So we started, as we call initiation, we transited, we actualized, and we are heading toward the excellence. So right now we are at the stage of actualization. We have energized workforce, ignited thoughts, and quality delivery. And all of these three parameters are being done in a day and day out manner. And our final aim is to the epitome of excellence, where we will go towards universal acceptance of Ayurveda, the Indian traditional medicine system. Thank you. Now, I will quickly take you towards the brief history of time for PRI. So PRI, Patanjali Research Institute, was set up under a trust called Patanjali Research Foundation Trust. That trust has many activities. PRI is one of that activity. The trust was established in August 2010, and the whole process, the genesis of the trust was to focus on scientific evidence for yoga and Ayurveda and try to get them as a system of medicine. Then, from 2010 to 2017, lot of activities were done. Classical collection of the information, compilation of the checkbook, checklist, and restoration of the ancient manuscript, and the whole work started to roll on. And during this period of little bit of dormancy, the initiation of the mega project of World Herbal Encyclopedia initiated at that time, which was a brainchild of Patanjali, and he thought several years before that there has to be a compendium of the herbal information practiced across the world, and which shows the spectrum and the horizon of the thought process Patanjali had. So he visualized several years before that what would be needed today. And that thought process has ignited that time, and whole workforce started to move in, and the PRI started to take a shape. And the formal shape happened in 2017, where Modi ji came and inaugurated the institute, and the formal operation initiated. From 2017 to 2019 onwards, we took a giant leap. We actually set up our laboratories, started to do a very detailed biology, very detailed chemistry, and trying to find out how things really work and how we can take this forward. So there is a lot of process that will happen. And I'm very happy to report and feel very proud to say that Patanjali Research Institute has contributed significantly on those lines, and we formulated the first medicine ever that came for the COVID code bill, and that was done by the team under the guidance of Acharya Swamiji. Those were done, and we set up collaboration, generated relations. Right now, Patanjali has national MOUs with 30 institutions across India. So PRI, Patanjali Research Institute, has a very diversified research framework. That would mean that the requirement to do the research are there by the specific regulatory bodies. So our labs are certified by NABL, which is a quality compliance group that we have in India. Labs are certified by DSIR, which is coming from Indian government, that allows us to do the research as a regulatory need for the institution. We have more than 300 scientists, several hundred PhDs, scores of postdoctorate fellows with global experiences. Other reason is to give basti, which is like a rectal delivery of the medicine. But sometimes that basti has a patient compliance issue too. It cannot be done by easily, and then people have other issues too. So then we thought in allopathic system, in the modern medicine, you have different technologies where you can coat the medicine that it will not be dissolved in the stomach. We found the time to be here, and I'm sure we will take it forward and we apply very quickly too. So I hope these 3 days would be useful, beneficial for all of you, and you will learn and enrich your knowledge and processes as we move along. You have been a fantastic audience. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you very much, sir. It is indeed a matter of great pride to be a part of this esteemed organization. May I now invite onto the dais Dr. Vedpriya Aryaji, Head
Encyclopedia from Contemplation, 110 volumes, which covers among 110,000 pages, and we have published near about 71 volumes of World Herbal Encyclopedia in 2022, and rest of them are to be reached near about March or April 2023. So let's come or discuss with the quantitative data of the World Herbal Encyclopedia. It covers 50,000 medicinal plant species. It covers the ethnopharmacological or ethnomedicinal information of more than 2,000 tribes of globe. It also has the 30,000 canvas paintings which are handmade. This is the first time in the world these handmade canvas paintings are also in the pictorial form in this particular documentation, and we have a plant museum that I would like to convey further, and 35,000 line drawings, as well as this whole information. It is supported with 6 lakhs this World Herbal Encyclopedia project. So I would like to convey some of the important things, like how did the journey start, how we have started the World Herbal Encyclopedia project. I have already said in my title page, contemplation, like how the thought arises. The thought arises with the Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. It means Sari Dunya Ek Parivar, whole world is a family. Well, it's not in the case of not only in the case of the human beings, but also in the case of plants. So plants are not belongs to any caste. They don't belong to any religion. They are not specified to a particular disease. They are for all. They have the unbiased medicinal uses for all medicinal system. Either it is practiced in the Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani, Japanese, Korean, etc. So the concept is the medicinal plants of all around the globe, they are medicinal, they are having the potency, they are having the characterization, they have the properties of healing, or the disease prevention is the ultimate aim. The concept arises with the answer for 3 major questions, like what are the total number of medicinal plants in the world and what are their medicinal uses. I'm sorry to say, a single documentation all around the globe is available, like what are the total medicinal, show to the world that like 28,000 medicinal plants are reported as medicinal around the globe. Then it comes to the medicinal plant name service, which is again a very important paradigms of Kew Botanical Garden. They have also suggested, by taking in account of 153 pharmaceutical or medicinal plants publication, and covers 27,000 medicinal plants are used medicinally around the globe. Well, in this, World Health Organization also comes. Well, in an ICDRA, International Conference of Drug Regulatory Authorities, which is held in Tokyo in 1986, World Health Organization is instructed to develop or to compile a list of medicinal plants. and they published 4 volumes and last 5 volumes, and they covers near about 117 monographs in the form of the complete information. And you can see I have a screenshot of volume number 4, the preface. This shows that due to diversity of medicinal plants and herbal medicine, it is difficult for WHO to continue to develop more monographs on the commonly used medicinal plants. It means to say from 1999 to 2010, World Health Organization also documented the medicinal plants, and just by 117 monographs, they closed this work without fully completion of this particular task. So what is the global status? That is summarized over here from the Q, from the FAO. There are still some of the questions which are unanswered. What are the total medicinal plants? How many medicinal systems in the world? Total number of synonyms? How many world languages the plants are spoken? Ayurvedic plant checklist, taxonomic status clarification, and especially very important, algae, fungi, bryophytes, pteridophytes, which are known as lower plants in the botany as well as in the plant sciences. There is no medicinal list for the lower plants, and these achievements are first time are documented in the World Herbal Encyclopedia. Taxonomy, it overpowers the binomial nomenclature of lineage, which is given in 1753, because the lineage nomenclature, the plants are based on the friend's name, on the city name, on the place's name, or other signs like the animal name, etc. The plant doesn't signify the morphological and the medicinal properties of the plants, but the Vedic taxonomy, it is the first ever endeavor which is done in the guidance of Param Pujya Acharya with the Sanskrit scholars team and the botanist and the taxonomist team, and the plants are based on the morphological characters as well as the medicinal properties of the plants which it contains. Then comes to the medicinal history of world. I would like to share some of the very important part, because medicinal history of world, this is the first time any organization, any you can say department or the team, it is traveled to Egypt with the migration of the Puru lineage from India to Egypt. And not only that, we have the references, we have the scientific documentation by which we are going to share, we are going to show all of these information. We have collected, we have taken the data from the ancient medical treatises of the world, like the Shushrut Samhita, like the Charak Samhita, which is the ancient manuscripts for the Ayurvedic medicinal system. We have the Edwin Smith surgical papyrus, which is around 5,000-year-old documentation, which consists of 48 cases of surgery. We have compiled the information from near about 30,000 plant paintings, which are handmade and which are made with the coordinated efforts of botany-based scientists, taxonomists, as well as the artists, which is very unique in nature. These are arranged in the sliders. We have the Patanjali herbal garden, in which more than 900 species of the plants are arranged. There are 5 artificial caves, which denotes the Ayurvedic principles as well as the medicinal system. We also are having the plant taxonomy and the flora preparation division, in which we are documenting, we are exploring the plants as well as preparing the flora. We have prepared the flora from the Morni Hills, from the Sijusha, Assam, from the Rashtrapati Bhavan, and we are having several new records for this particular kind of task. We are also conserving the medicinal plants in the form of the herbarium. I am proud to say that this particular herbarium, it is accredited by the Index Herbarium, New York Botanical Garden, which is an achievement in the North India for the Patanjali. These are some of the samples of herbarium and the plant exploration, which is, the team is led by Pujya Acharya and all the scientists and the botanical taxonomists are over here. We have the preservation and republication of ancient manuscript division. You can see the manuscripts which are very old, near about 2 or 3rd century manuscripts are there, and these are rare. Morley Hills, from the Sijusha, Assam, from the Rashtrapati Bhavan, and we are having several new records for this particular kind of task. We are also conserving the medicinal plants in the form of the herbarium. I am proud to say that this particular herbarium, it is accredited by the Index Herbarium, New York Botanical Garden, which is an achievement in the North India for the Patanjali. These are some of the samples of herbarium and the plant exploration, which is, the team is led by Pujya Acharya and all the scientists and the botanical taxonomists are over here. We have the preservation and republication of ancient manuscript division. You can see the manuscripts which are very old, near about 2 or 3rd century manuscripts are there, and these are